Two people, same product, same time, same website, completely different prices. Most shoppers think Amazon shows everyone the best deal, but that's not how modern pricing works at all. Behind the scenes, prices move based on your behavior, your urgency, and what the system thinks you're willing to pay. In this video, you'll learn 3 dynamic pricing secrets: the invisible auction deciding your price, the subtle tricks steering your choices, and the urgency tactics that push you to pay more. Let's start with the invisible auction you never see. Secret number 1. The invisible auction. How algorithms decide your price. Static one-size-fits-all price tags made sense in a physical store. Online, that thinking breaks down fast. E-commerce platforms don't care about fair and consistent as much as they care about maximum revenue per visitor. If they can charge you a little more without scaring you away, that's pure profit. And because everything is software, they can keep changing the price until they find that perfect balance. Here's the part most people miss. You don't have to bid in a visible auction for there to be one. Your behavior is the bid. Every click you make tells the algorithm something. You click a product 5 times over 3 days? That screams interest. You scroll through reviews, zoom into images, and come back again from a Google search? That says, I care about this specific item. Now, the system doesn't feel emotional about this. It treats you as a probability. How likely are you to buy at this price right now? So it starts testing. It might show one group of users a slightly higher price, another group a slightly lower one. It watches who buys, who hesitates, who abandons the cart and returns, and who disappears completely. You're not competing against other shoppers directly. You're competing against a predictive model of you, a version of you the algorithm has built from past clicks, past purchases, your device type, even the time of day you usually buy. A simple mental model. Every time you interact with a product, you're silently bidding your willingness to pay. The algorithm keeps asking, how high can we go before you drop out? Now here's where you see it in real life. You might notice a price creeping up after you've checked the same item several times. Or a small drop right after you abandon your cart, as if the site is saying, wait, come back, how about this? Inventory and competitors also act as signals. If rival prices go up, or stock looks tight, the system often pushes your price higher too. If demand is slow, it quietly nudges prices down to stimulate purchases. Then the pressure tactics join in. Messages like, only 3 left in stock, or other people are viewing this now pair with dynamic pricing to shorten your decision window. The less time you spend comparing, the easier it is to charge you closer to your maximum. So how do you protect yourself? First, stop treating a single price snapshot as the price. It's not. It's an offer. Use price history tools and alert trackers to see how often that number moves. If you notice recent spikes, that's a hint you might be walking into the invisible auction at the wrong moment. Secret number 2. Choice architecture. Steering you away from the real best deal. Once the system has a sense of what you're willing to pay, it doesn't only tweak the number. It starts reshaping the menu of choices you see. This is where most people get fooled. You feel like you're freely browsing an endless marketplace. In reality, you're walking through a layout that's been designed to steer you toward options that are more profitable to sell to someone like you. The key idea here is choice architecture. The way options are presented so that one path feels more natural, safer, or smarter than the others. The first psychological tool inside that structure is anchoring. The very first price you see for a category sets your sense of what's cheap or expensive. If your first laptop result is $1,200, a $900 one feels like a bargain, even if you only needed a $600 machine. Platforms use this constantly. High-priced items are placed where they'll be seen early, not necessarily because they expect everyone to buy them, but because they reset your internal scale. Suddenly, mid-range products feel reasonable, and truly budget options feel risky or low quality. Now, layer on sorting defaults. You almost never see pure lists by price. Instead, you see featured, best match, or relevance. Those labels sound neutral, but they blend multiple factors: profitability, ad spend, conversion rates, shipping speed, and yes, sometimes user ratings. Cheaper alternatives can be buried lower down or on later pages, while the top of the page is reserved for sponsored placements and house-favored products. When you accept the default sort, you're accepting their priorities, not yours. The Compare with Similar Items box feels like it's doing you a favor, but it's curated. You're shown a hand-picked set of options, often close in price or slightly higher, with differences that make the recommended one look like the smart middle ground. Speaking of the middle ground, there's another trick at play: decoy options. You'll often see 3 versions of a product or service: a cheap one, a mid-priced one, and an expensive one that feels almost absurd. That top tier is sometimes there simply to make the middle tier look sensible. Your brain goes, well, I don't want the basic one, and the premium is too much, so the middle is safe. From the platform's side, safe often means highest profit margin. Then there are bundles and add-ons. The main product looks reasonably priced, especially after anchoring. But as you scroll, you see frequently bought together protection plans, accessories, and extended warranties. One click at a time, your total quietly climbs. The original price becomes just one piece of a growing basket you don't fully track. Dynamic discounts add yet another layer. Tiny coupons or small percentage off labels grab your attention. You feel like you're winning, so you're less focused on whether the base price is actually good in the first place. The discount becomes the story. The total cost fades into the background. So how do you push back against this? First, flip their defaults. Instead of staying on featured, switch to sort by price or price plus shipping. Then add filters that match your real needs: size, capacity, key features. You're rebuilding the choice architecture in your favor. Second, compare across tabs without the labels. Open several similar items, then mentally strip away badges like choice, sponsored, or bestseller. Focus on what matters to you: specs, reviews, and the real final price. Third, define your anchor before you search. Decide, I'm aiming to spend around this amount, and I only upgrade if there's a clear benefit. That way, the first number the platform shows you doesn't hijack your sense of normal. And finally, treat the top results with suspicion, not trust. They're often the most profitable options to push, not necessarily the best value for you. Once your choices are shaped, there's one last lever to pull: time. That's where urgency, scarcity, and surge-style pricing come in. Secret number 3. Urgency, scarcity, and the psychology of surge pricing. Humans hate losing out more than we like getting a small gain. This is the bias that surge-style tactics lean on. Surge pricing, at its core, is simple: when demand is high or when you seem less sensitive to price. The system raises the price to see what you'll tolerate. You'll see this clearly in services like ride-hailing, but e-commerce uses similar logic in quieter ways. One version is straightforward: when lots of people are buying at a certain moment, or when inventory drops, prices can spike. Another version is more psychological. It creates the feeling that if you don't act now, you'll miss the chance entirely. That's where only 2 left in stock, 15 other people have this in their cart, or deal ends in 2 hours messages kick in. Some of these reflect real constraints. Others are calibrated nudges designed to speed up your decision. Here's why they work. When you think an item might disappear, your brain shifts from, is this a good price, to, will I lose this if I wait? That's loss aversion. You'd rather lock in a slightly worse deal than risk no deal at all, especially if you're tired, rushed, or emotionally invested in the purchase. Countdown timers are another powerful tool. A clock silently running down on a limited-time discount overrides your normal shopping process. Instead of calmly comparing, you're glancing back at the timer, feeling that background pressure. The goal is not generosity, it's acceleration. Sometimes platforms will briefly dip the price or offer a short-lived coupon, not just to grab a sale now, but to train you. You learn that when you act quickly on these alerts, you win. Next time, when you see a similar timer or message, you're more likely to respond immediately, even without checking alternatives. Add personalization and the effect multiplies. Emails or push notifications about price drops, items left in your cart, or deals picked for you often arrive when your past behavior suggests you're most likely to buy. Maybe evenings, weekends, or right after payday. None of this is random. It's timing plus psychology plus data. So how do you defend against surge-style pressure? First, set your maximum price in advance. Before you even open the app or site, decide, if this goes above this number, I walk. That external limit keeps surge bumps and scarcity messages from dragging you higher. Second, build in a delay by default. For any non-urgent purchase, give yourself 24 hours. Add the item to a wish list or a tracking tool instead of the cart. See if the price changes, and see if your desire for it drops once the emotional spike fades. Third, reframe urgency signals as yellow lights, not green. If you see a countdown, low stock warning, or X people viewing, treat that as a cue to pause and check. Is this really a good deal compared to other sites, other brands, or waiting a week? And if you suspect a price has surged because of timing, try small experiments. Different times of day, different days of the week, or even different retailers. The key takeaway here is that urgency and scarcity are rarely about helping you get the best price. They're about helping the system capture the highest price you won't reject. Once you see that, you can slow down. Let the artificial pressure pass and make the algorithms work a little harder to earn your money. Dynamic pricing isn't random. It's a system tuned to your behavior, attention, and fear of missing out. Use that awareness as leverage. Slow down, compare, and decide your own fair price. Comment with your strangest price change story, subscribe, and watch my next video on real-world pricing and negotiation tactics.